Ask the Messengers, the program that deals with substance abuse, real people telling real stories. Where there is addiction, there is a chance for recovery. We're trying to help save lives on Ask the Messengers.
I came out of the cardboard box one morning. I was so spiritually and emotionally empty. I could not pray and I could not cry. I was that empty. I was 90 pounds lighter. I dropped to my knees, I grabbed 2 handfuls of dirt, and I just groaned out to Jesus with every cell of my body, from my innermost being. And he heard me. He heard me. I went straight to the probation department and told them I wanted to go to rehab.
From mayor to prison to the pulpit, Kwame M. Kilpatrick is a real person who shares his real story. The Ask the Messengers crew attended the Detroit Recovery Project's 20th annual prayer breakfast where the former Detroit mayor was the keynote speaker.
I was mad, and I know this don't happen to you, but when you real mad, when you real depressed, when you feel in the dark and ostracized by everybody, when you in a suicidal mindset, you don't like nobody.
In this episode, you will hear what he shared about how his life has changed from the days when we all knew him as the mayor. Also, the president and CEO of the Detroit Recovery Project, Mr. Andre Johnson, spoke with our street reporter Lashon Battle about this event, and he also spoke of celebrity actor Michael K. Williams, who was most known for his character Omar in the HBO series The Wire. He recently lost his life to the disease of addiction. Plus, more real people share their real stories. Ask the Messengers begins now.
I was addicted to methamphetamine, heroin, alcohol for 10 years of my life. I ended up in jails. It wasn't the life I wanted to live. I never foresaw being an addict. At the end of those 10 years, I woke up in a jail cell in LA County, and I realized that this is it. I don't know what it was, the miracle moment that happened, but it happened at that time. I constantly was running the same cycle over and over, and for me, I ended up in handcuffs. And the police, they ended up saving me. I always had drugs on me. It was my safety blanket. I would not leave the house without drugs, and the law of averages. I would exile myself. I'd be homeless. I'd force myself into homelessness, and I would eventually get arrested. So I think each time I did, and I'd have that clarity, it brought me a little bit closer to that point in which I finally got and stayed clean.
I would go on little benders here and there with alcohol and benzodiazepines if I could get my hands on them, because all this emotional pain would build up inside of me, and I would feel all of this pressure inside of my heart. And as all of this emotional turmoil was going on in my life, I really felt like at that moment in time I didn't know what to do. I understood what to do physically, but the mental, emotional, and spiritual side was still a mystery to me. And I kept trying, and I kept trying, and I kept trying, and the guilt when I would revert back because life just felt so hard. And I would use, and I would wake up, and I'd feel so bad, and I remember praying, God, please help me figure this out. I don't want to be this person, because it would take me right back mentally and emotionally to these painful places of hating myself and not wanting to live. And I wanted to figure it out. I wanted to connect to people. I wanted to feel free in life. I wanted to break free from the prison of my own mind.
I joined Second Ebenezer Church back in 1996 before I was running for office. And there was a pastor there named Edgar Van who embraced me, who counseled me, who sat me down, who told me the truth, who helped me understand the quote-unquote lay of the land, not just in the city of Detroit as a whole, but also amongst the clergy and pastors and ecumenical community, and also the philanthropic community and the people around the city. So at 25 years old, I was sitting there soaking it all in. And I knew then that he had a greater wisdom than most. Sometimes when you're being a knucklehead and you get sat down somewhere, and in the night season in those cells, now the night season don't last a night. I know what the Bible, weeping may endure. I know what y'all was singing. Weeping may endure for a night, joy coming in the morning. I know, I get all that. No, weeping can endure for a year. No, I know church folk, you get up joyful. No. You can be in a night season for a long time. The beauty of the night season is that all the light that you heard, all of the light moments that you heard while you were walking around in your darkness, they start to come back at you. Life is here. I got out of prison and I went right to work. I ain't got time to waste. When your life is slowed down, Daryl, you try to hey, listen, I'm living abundantly now. I wish I knew Jesus before like I knew him now. I'm living abundantly, and the Lord gave me a wife. The Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. It doesn't say he who finds a woman or a girlfriend or just a good chick. It said he who finds a wife. And when I found Leticia, she was a wife already. And so for 2.5 years, we was doing this on the phone and with letters, writing back and forth from each other. And I just say this, brothers, I know the Lord say don't have sex before you're married. We always thought that was killing your buzz. That was the Lord being a joy kill. But I learned something by not being able to have that. You actually got to get to know a person. You actually got to ask questions and have conversations and be honest. I was not a good catch. Yeah, I had on prison clothes with a 28-year sentence, so I didn't have nothing to lose. We didn't even like each other at first. It was more of a friendship. So she asked me a question. I told her the honest, unadulterated truth, and she did the same. And what I found out is you really get a chance to know somebody when you do that. And when I got out, it didn't take me long. There you go. Let's do this. Marry me. And so she's been an incredible force of nature and spirit in my life, and I just thank her. And the CEO, because I know my time is short, I'm going to blaze through this, the CEO of this organization, I'm fascinated and in awe at his life, period. He's an incredible person. One who has gone through what they call the vicissitudes of life. And just as a couple of people came up here and testified to, he overcame it by the blood of the Lamb and the word of his testimony. And he was able to, once that happened, gifts start coming to him. So much so that after getting a GED, he found himself at Morehouse College, the esteemed Morehouse College. How do you get kicked out of Finney, kicked out of Kettering, had to go to a one stop for a GED, and find yourself at Morehouse now with alumni and with the full backing of the institution, and then understanding that God planted you in this nonprofit field to go back to the very people that you used to hang with and tell them about recovery. That is an awesome testimony, and I love you, brother. His wife, Keneal, I just love them, and I love all of you. There's so many people here that made an impact on my life, and I'm just going to get going so we can get out of the way. I met Daryl when he was doing life. He was actually had a life sentence, and he would invite me to come out and speak, and I say, okay, I'll come, and I go out to Mound and hang out with Daryl for the day, and he ran that prison. Y'all saw him standing here, right? I didn't understand that. I didn't understand prisons at the time. I used to go in there like, man, I ain't never coming up in here. You remember I used to talk to man, yeah, okay. Never tell the Lord never. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But it was prison where I fell down on my knees. After a man from Yukon, Oklahoma, talked to me in the back of a prison chapel and asked me one simple question. Do you have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ? And I said, no. He said, I appreciate your honesty. I don't get that much. I said, I've been in church all my life, but I don't believe I have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. I don't even know what that is. I was mad at myself. I was mad at all y'all. I ain't like none of y'all. The people that I just praised, I didn't like none of y'all either. I was mad, and I know this don't happen to you, but when you real mad, when you real depressed, when you feel in the dark and ostracized by everybody, when you in a suicidal mindset, you don't like nobody. Nobody was good. I didn't want to talk to nobody, and I was comfortable in a solitary confinement cell. Day 100. You know how it is. Day 102. Day 150. I'm in solitary. Day 180. Let's just get it. Whatever. What is that? Whatever it's going to be, it's going to be.
Coming up, more from former Detroit Mayor Kwame M. Kilpatrick as he shared how his life has changed. Don't go away. Ask the Messengers will be right back.
Hi, my name is Artesia Washington, and I'd like to welcome you to Irvine Newer Rehab, where we help you reach your goals of rehabilitation. So you ask, why choose Irvine? Now here at Irvine, we offer physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and language pathology, counseling, aquatic therapy, and massage therapy. And we help build you back to your previous level of functioning. Give us a call, 248-415-2500, www.irvineneurorehab.com.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri, encouraging all taxpayers to please take advantage of the several payment options available.
You can pay online by visiting the Wayne County Treasurer's Office website. Paying online is easy and convenient.
You can also download the mobile app and pay with your smartphone.
You can pay at one of 70 kiosks located throughout Wayne County.
And yes, you can always still send in your payments using the U.S. Postal Service.
If you have to visit our office in person, you must make an appointment by going to treasurer.waynecounty.com. It only takes a few minutes. Facial covering or mask is required and social distancing is observed. Your health and safety is very important to us. You can also email our office at taxinfo@waynecounty.com or call us at 313-224-5990.
Listen. All it took was someone who would insist that I just try.
Suddenly, everything was turned around because they judge you.
You tell them, I don't need this.
No one is going to understand.
Unless they've been through it, how can they?
Then one day you realize
you feel so hopeless.
I need help. I need help.
You feel so hopeless.
Then one day you realize,
unless they've been through it, how can they understand?
I don't need this.
No one's going to judge you.
Suddenly everything was turned around because they insist that I just try.
All it took was someone who would just
listen.
If you or someone you know is battling with any type of cancer, you need to read the book by Laverne Moore Slaughter, God Encounters Are Real. In her book, she tells how through prayer and faith, God healed her and set her free from stomach cancer. For more information and to get your copy, visit www.encountersarereal.net.
I didn't want to live. But it was in that place when I got out that I walked in front of this man and I had to answer the question and be confronted with the truth of the matter that I don't know him. And he said something to me. He said, do you want to get to know him right now? Change my life in an instant. The reason why you have Detroit Recovery is because none of us individually can afford to heal the sickness that's in our streets. None of us can afford to go get all the people who just got out of prison and need reentry services. None of us can afford to go get the people who had problems with alcohol. You know how many hundreds of thousands of people are having problems right now and not even recognizing it? Problems with drugs and problems with all kinds of things, mental health disorders. None of us individually can go out and help those people. So what God did, he put an idea in a couple of people. This is amazing because I love that Dr. Trent did what he did because this is so good. The Bible says that a man that does exactly what God says do, his fruit will remain. Dr. Trent is not in the earth anymore. Dr. Trent had a date where he had to meet God face to face. Dr. Trent knew Jesus, and he knew that he had a crown waiting on him, and he went on ahead. But what he did while he was here was started something that's still bearing fruit. Is somebody going to get help today that should be thanking Dr. Trent? Oh, thank you, Dr. Trent, for the idea. You are a part of history. The pastor, the reverend, the minister from Triumph said that I was here the first day we started putting together them breakfasts to do this. It was so important that she said that for me because this ain't no fly-by-night thing for her. She's committed. You are a part of history because you are binding up the brokenhearted. Christ-like. You are proclaiming liberty to the captives. Christ-like. This organization, under the leadership of a man who was just like the Samaritan. He knew what it was like to not have anywhere to go. He knew what it was like to hurt and nobody was coming to help him heal. He knew what it was like to want help and can't find help. But just like the Samaritan, he said the leaders that everybody's looking for, they already here. The help that the Lord wants to send, he already created in me. And so while we're all here, is because within this story, certainly there's spiritual significance, but there's also significance for you and I. We have an obligation after coming through COVID, after coming through hell and high water, after coming through the vicissitudes of life, God allowed you to make it right here, right now, in this sanctuary. Wow. He has no accidents, incidents. This is intentional. Whether you're 8 years old or 80, sitting here now, you got something to do. Whatever is bothering you, Detroit Recovery, what's your problem? Man, I can't stop heroin. It's ruined my life. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in some conversations and some teaching and around some people because I got to stop your pain. Why do I need to stop your pain? Because when we get hurt, we return to what we've been doing. An adulterer is not an adulterer because he's not cheating. Let me speak from experience. And you don't stop cheating just because you're not cheating right now. I was in prison. I could walk around prison and say, I'm not an adulterer. Yeah, well, I'm not gay. I'm not gay. And there were no women there. There was no opportunity to cheat. I can't declare I'm not a cheater because there's no opportunity. You not off heroin if you ain't got no money to buy none. The brother came up here and said, one thing I got to know about myself, even if you don't know it, I got a problem. And I'm fighting this out there in the parking lot doing push-ups right now. Yeah, I was listening because he recognized the sin and the weight that so easily besets him. What's the problem then? The problem is people are declaring that they something that they not. They're declaring that they something that they ain't got over yet. How do I stop being an adulterer? I got to be something else. I can't be this and this. I can't be a good preacher and a good cusser. I can't cuss all the time and preach all the time. I got to choose. If I'm preaching, I can't be a good. When I was a cusser, I was a great cusser. I could string it together. I could look you right in your eye, and give it to you. Now I can't do it. It don't come out right. I sound crazy. People be like, stop, man. Just you sound weird, man. I mean, I can't communicate with that. I can't do it anymore. You got to choose. You either an adulterer or you saved by the grace of God, and you stop because you've been cleaned up and you're something new. You his.
Stay tuned for more of Ask the Messengers.
I'm Wayne County Treasurer Eric Sabri, encouraging all taxpayers to please take advantage of the several payment options available. If you have to visit our office in person, you must make an appointment by going to treasurer.waynecounty.com. It only takes a few minutes. Facial covering or mask is required and social distancing is observed. You can also email our office at taxinfo@waynecounty.com or call us at 313-224-5990.
If you or someone you know is battling with any type of cancer, you need to read the book by Laverne Moore Slaughter, God Encounters Are Real. In her book, she tells how through prayer and faith, God healed her and set her free from stomach cancer. For more information and to get your copy, visit www.encountersarereal.net.
Hi, my name is Artesia Washington, and I'd like to welcome you to Irvine Newer Rehab, where we help you reach your goals of rehabilitation. So you ask, why choose Irvine? Now here at Irvine, we offer physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and language pathology, counseling, aquatic therapy, and massage therapy. And we help build you back to your previous level of functioning. Give us a call, 248-415-2500, www.irvineneurorehab.com.
Mr. Johnson, we're at Detroit Recovery Project Prayer Breakfast. What is this event about?
This event is about celebrating Recovery Month. And part of how we celebrate Recovery Month is to bring the community together, bring family together, bring children together, and celebrate and recognize and honor people who have found and sustained long-term recovery. Recovery is something to be excited about. It's something to be happy about. We're talking about a group of people who lived a life of pain, a life of despair every day. And now we're talking about people who have had a life transformation. And now they're married, they're happy, they're loving. And so this is a celebration for all of the recovery community at large, but it's also a celebration for the families in the community as well. And so we got to have a whole lot of these kind of events because recovery is real. And we got to recognize the transformation that occurs in our community.
When you think about Michael K. Williams?
Oh, man. First of all, my heart goes out to his family. I know he had 3 children, a wife, a mother, and actors and activists throughout the country and the world. Just an outpour of love and grief. But I think Michael K. Williams really epitomizes how addiction doesn't really matter or care about your success. He played a lot of significant roles that often involve criminality and drug use. And sometimes you can't play that role as an actor and not play that same role in the streets. I mean, unfortunately, he wasn't able to embrace long-term recovery. He had bouts with recovery, but he had resources. And so for me, what hit home was, how do we perform? Sometimes how we perform in the world of acting, we still play that out outside of acting. You know what I mean? And so recovery, as you know, Sean, being a long-term person in recovery yourself, is an inside job. It's working on your insides. It's working to really tackle the despair, to tackle the helplessness, to tackle the hopelessness, to tackle the shame, the embarrassment, the guilt. These are all elements that affect our overall psychological well-being. And if those elements are not treated, we get worse. No matter how much money we get, no matter how successful we get, if we do not work on our insides, we will get worse. And addiction has a way of getting worse. and it has a way of ripping the life out of people and ripping the life out of families and loved ones. And that's why recovery is so important, because when we recover, we find family reunification. We find family reintegration. We find people who now have lives that are meaningful and purposeful. But if a person don't know what it feels like to not feel love from nobody, including self, it's a downward spiral. The community needs healing, particularly the inner city. Michael K. Williams from the inner city. You know, he was from Flatbush, New York. And he talked about his pain. He talked about his horrors. And it's important for us to talk about ours. But the flip side is recovery is possible and it's real.
Absolutely. And with so much going on with you, how do you maintain your recovery?
Well, I'm an active member of the 12-step community. I'm also active in the gym. I'm active in meditation. And I work to live a meaningful, purposeful life. I work to be an authentic person. I work to be intentional. I work to be a better person than I was yesterday. And those are my goals. I work with people in recovery for a living. That gives me my inspiration day in and day out. So as a recovering person, I'm not just a person who just talk. I'm a person who walk the walk. I'm a person who spend time with people I love in recovery. And I make time for people I love in recovery, because recovery has given me a life. And if not for recovery, I certainly wouldn't be able to stand here today.
To hear the entire speech by Kwame Kilpatrick, please visit our show website at www.askthemessengers.org. And again, congratulations to Detroit Recovery Project for serving the community for more than 20 years. Well, that concludes this week's episode of the Ask the Messengers TV show. We hope something you heard today helped you in some way to understand addiction and to give anyone struggling the desire to surrender and seek help. If you or someone you know is experiencing anything that seems to be too hard to handle, please know there is a way out, and don't hesitate or be afraid to seek help. Until next time, may you seek a power greater than yourself so that you too can turn your mess into a message that will help save lives. Continue to stay safe, and most importantly, be kind and love one another.
Won't you help us to do exactly what our motto is, and that is to help save lives? Won't you send a generous donation to the information there on the screen? We would love to have you as part of our partnership to help save lives. You may not be able to go out in the street, you may not be able to come here to the show, but you can send your donation that helps us save lives.